Hello, everyone. It's time for dog culture vocabulary class. Today's vocabulary word is dogmatic. Yeah, dogmatic. So this is like a dogmatic. It just fires out dogs like crazy, like full auto. Brrr. No kidding. Wouldn't that be freaking crazy? The dogmatic 4000 fires out dogs everywhere. Oh my god, that would be ridiculous. But no, dogmatic is an adjective. It means asserting or insisting upon ideas or principles, especially when unproven or unexamined. Unexamined is an important part of this definition. In an imperious or arrogant manner. Imperious, that means like imperative. That when you make an imperative statement, you would say something like, lemonade has nothing to do with sugar. The sky has nothing to do with tires. It's an imperative. It's all or nothing. There's no in between. There's no examination. Okay? So that's our word, dogmatic. And isn't it crazy because dog culture is very dogmatic? Dog culture expects you to think about dogs in one certain way and then that's it. And dog culture expects you to have the same opinions about dogs, the same opinions about humans, and dog owners typically they don't just go and say, hey, I have my dog, I'm happy, I'm going to keep my dog quiet, I'm going to keep the poop cleaned up, I'm not going to let my dog bother you. Typically most people with dogs, they have to they expect everyone else to be part of this dog culture. They're just not happy. They need more and more attention, more and more access to our resources. So it's funny that this word dogmatic applies to dog culture so much. So dog culture is dogmatic. What else out there is dogmatic? Antinatalists. So we're over here at an article called Antinatalist. They are the people who want you to stop having babies. So they don't just want to not have babies themselves. They expect you to adopt all of their little ideologies. So let me scroll down here to a quote. I found so many of these quotes in these antinatalist articles. So I got a blue highlight going up here in front of you. This antinatalist says, do the best you can, be kind, and don't procreate. So that's very loaded, actually. That's kind of like the way narcissists talk. So do the best you can. So right off they're saying that you're not as good as them unless you're towing this line. Very much like dog culture too. You need to be a good dog owner. You need to rescue them. You need to fix them. You need to prevent suffering. But it's loaded language going on in here. And then he says, be kind. Oh, okay, that sounds good. Be kind. But what he's saying is also that you're not kind. If you don't agree with all of these antinatal things, then you're not kind. It's kind of like how people will say, we need unity and we need peace. Unity, we need to work together. But those are actually the same people that refuse to unify with others. They only unify with people that share their exact dogmatic views. An example of that is this type of language. We should be unified, a final note before moving on. So that's loaded language, like I just showed you. We should be unified. Basically, this little video, if you go watch it, this person is expecting everyone to have their same opinion about the person that they're talking about in their video. So unity doesn't mean that they're willing to meet people halfway. When they say unity in this video, this guy right here, when he says unity, what he means is he expects you to have the same exact opinion about the person that he's critiquing in that video. And we all know who that person is. And that's fine, but I just want to use that as an example. And thank you to this channel for helping me provide this example. But when people say unity, they don't necessarily mean they want unity. What they're saying is they want everybody to share their same opinion about antinatalism and communism and dog culture. And this whole thing about a final note before moving on, no. You've said that on your community page before, and when you say a final note, basically that means you want the last word. But that is just an example of loaded language from this channel, and I wanted to share with you guys. Not because I'm lashing out or I'm trying to keep any back and forth going, because this is actually a very valid topic that we should talk about. So back to the antinatalist. So antinatalists, they are dogmatic. Read some of these articles. It's very interesting the types of groups and types of ideologies they push out there. These are the type of ideologies that support the same ideologies that exist in dog culture. My main point here is that both of these things, antinatalists and dog culture, they're both dogmatic. They both expect you to act a certain way, talk a certain way, associate with certain types of people, and you need to prevent this catastrophe by doing what they say that you need to do. They can't say, hey, look, here's my opinion on kids. If you want to have kids, that's great. I hope you do great. A antinatalist will not say that. A person that loves dogs will not sit down with you and say, okay, let me hear why you don't like dogs. Oh, the smell, the odor, the barking. They will not do that either. So that's two things that share the dogmatic type of thinking, the asserting or insisting upon ideas or principles, especially when unproven or unexamined in an arrogant manner. Both antinatalist and dog culture does that. And it's kind of, I like this part about unproven, because antinatalists, they refuse to have children because they say there's too much suffering. They kind of create a self-fulfilling prophecy. So they can't prove it. Like, do your best to raise a child. Do your absolute best to raise a child and try to prove your theory. No, they won't prove it. They will just go and tell you, look, antinatalism is where it's at. You need to be good, you need to be kind, and not have kids, just like me. So yeah, that has been a look at dogmatic and how it applies to dog culture and antinatalists.